So, North Korea reportedly making new promises concerning its nuclear test site, vowing to shut it down after its summit with the South and ahead of a presidential meeting with President Trump. But Kim Jong-un is looking for a security guarantee from the U.S. in return. The question is, can he be trusted?
I think if he has made a strategic determination that North Korea would be better off without nuclear weapons, then I think we've got something to talk about. And I think the president would be eager to capitalize on the opportunity. And I think it's up to the North Koreans to show us that they really do intend to give up nuclear weapons.
Joining us now, retired Lieutenant Colonel Michael Waltz, former Green Beret commander, former counterterrorism advisor to Vice President Cheney, and author of Warrior Diplomat. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thanks, Julie.
First of all, what kind of security guarantee is Kim Jong-un talking about?
Well, I think eventually, in the short term, he's going to be looking for a suspension as these talks go along. It's not the case now, but as the talks progress, he's going to be looking for a suspension of military exercises. But I think the deal to be had in the long term and what Kim Jong-un is going to be looking for is for the United States to either greatly minimize or completely withdraw troops from South Korea. And that is something that over the weekend, General Mattis and others seemed to indicate could be part of a longer-term deal. Okay,
so the problem is history, right? Because similar promises were made during six-party talks under the Bush administration when you were in the White House. So how is this any different?
Well, what happened back then was there was kind of this incremental approach in that the North Koreans would give some concessions and then we would give some sanction reliefs, and that we would also give some food aid, fuel aid, and other pieces. And I think this administration, what gives me optimism is a few things. One, President Trump has already extracted concessions that military exercises will continue, sanctions will stay in place, and that I think the biggest piece is that he's indicated he will walk away. And I could see kind of that being framed out in three different circumstances. One, if Kim Jong-un is just trying to use this for kind of symbolism to be seen as on par with the President of the United States for his own domestic propaganda reasons. Two, that if he's taking a play out of the old North Korean playbook, well, let's drag this along. And that's what I'm really concerned about. If we get bogged down in when the inspectors can come in, what sites they can go to, how much notice. And meanwhile, the North Korean missile engineers are perfecting that ICBM.
Yeah, okay, so there's also the Japanese factor here, because the Japanese aren't exactly on the same page as the South Koreans on this. Do they need to be?
That's right. So remember that the South Koreans and the Japanese still have a lot of bad feelings, so to speak, left over from World War II. And they're not on the same page. The South Korean leader, President Moon, wants a deal badly. He's a progressive and really wants to outreach to his North Korean counterparts. And the Japanese are led by a very conservative Prime Minister Abe, who does not believe in having talks just for the sake of it. And what he's worried about is that short and medium range missiles will be left out of this, that the United States will only be worried about the ICBMs that can hit the United States and the nuclear program, and that Japanese concerns won't be taken into account.
We have to give credit where credit is due, and there has been significant strides made between this presidency, this administration, and North Korea, unlike we've ever seen before. There is also concern, however, that this could be a propaganda win for Kim Jong-un to have a face-to-face meeting with POTUS. I mean, the guy never even left his own country. Then he goes to China. Now he's willing to meet with the president. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to believe it.
Well, I think absolutely. And I think the president has his eyes wide open. John Bolton is certainly on record as a North Korean skeptic, and rightly so. And Mike Pompeo is going to take a very tough approach as well. So, again, as long as those sanctions stay in place and our foot kind of stays on the neck of the North Korean economy with Chinese support, and with the full UN support, I think we'll be in good shape. But we have to see absolutely verifiable full denuclearization before we make any concessions.
It sounds promising. I can't lie. I mean, it seems this is the most significant stride that we've seen us make.
Oh, absolutely. And the key here, and the president knew this, was that we had to make them believe if they get this program, it will mean their destruction, and only President Trump could make that happen, and he has.
All right. He sure has. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Michael Waltz, thank you. Good to see you.
Okay, thanks so much.